Good morning, sports racers. It's the 2016 Project for Awesome and Knowledge Things you deserve to feel awesome and safe in public space. I was 11. I recall wearing a knee-length skirt and t-shirt. I was walking in front of the mall when I began to hear whistles and grown men yelling things out at me, an 11-year-old girl. Nice legs, hey gorgeous. I was terrified and alone and in desperate need of my mom. I ran into the nearest store, and as I ran, the men kept yelling. There was 3 of them. One of them followed me into the store. He asked me if I needed help finding my parents, to come with him. And I ran to a store security guard and turned the man in. The security guard escorted him out. But I was still afraid to leave the store, afraid to tell my parents, afraid to be blamed, afraid. So this isn't my story, and not only have I not experienced this sort of harassment, I rarely see any sort of street harassment like this or otherwise. But I know this story isn't unique, and that makes it even less okay. But Hollaback is doing something about it. They've trained over 550 leaders in 31 countries with materials translated into 19 languages. These leaders have collected more than 10,000 stories like this one, of people who deserve to feel safe. And telling your story is important. Research shows that when you share your story, it reduces the long-term impacts of trauma. And the research also shows, and I know this from personal experience, that telling stories and hearing stories builds empathy. I don't know what it feels like to walk down the street and be harassed, but I know that it happens every day. And this work matters now more than ever. Since the election, stories to Hollaback have been coming in at twice their usual rate. Stories from people who are being harassed for being people of color, or gay, or female, or all 3 of those identities, or many other identities. Stories from people as young as 7. And that means that when some of us were doing power moves with Zay, or making the earth a sandwich, or watching Hank perform his very first, very awkward rock and roll show as a result of getting a video in late, or maybe it was too long, and we had never, or at least very rarely, seen the Yeti, long before art assignments. While we were doing that, babies were being born. Babies who right now are feeling unsafe on the streets or online, and that's not okay. And that's why Hollaback trains young leaders. They make space for the stories that change us. Stories that heal and hurt, stories that build and break down, stories that felt invisible, or stories that felt so big they took up every inch of room of the street and the world. Because these are the stories that change culture. Because we need to name the problem, to see it, and to end it. And we need Hollaback. And I've been a nerd fighter for a long time, but this is my first Project for Awesome video. Because through John's books and Hank's songs and their collaborations building community and telling stories at conventions and in spaces on and offline, by creating Esther Day and building new ways for us to celebrate together and come together as people, we've seen the way that by sharing stories together, we change the world. Hollaback is training leaders in telling stories and decreasing world suck by reminding everyone that whoever you are and wherever you are, you have the right to feel awesome. Online, on the street, any place you want to go. Please vote for Hollaback. There'll be a link in the doobly-doo and probably on an end screen if I can figure out what an end screen is. Or you can donate directly to Hollaback. That is always appreciated. You can also help Hollaback by sharing this video and by encouraging your friends to vote and share this video too. But I want to see the videos that you make. So also link those in the comments. Point me in the directions of your favorite charities, your most awesome Project for Awesome videos, and I'll look at those and share them and like them and vote for them too. Thank you for watching, thank you for voting, and thank you for building this community with your participation. As they say in the places that we go, where we come from, and where we want to be, don't forget to be awesome.